Hi everyone, welcome to Live Your Language, where I talk all about raising bilingual children. I'm Stephanie, a PhD student in second language acquisition and a mother to a child that I'm raising bilingually in my non-native language. Today I'm filming in my dining room, which as you can see is filled to the brim with plants. My husband has a super green thumb and he can make anything grow. I really admire his patience because he plants something or takes cuttings and gets everything started knowing that it's not going to blossom in months or sometimes even years. I think this is a great analogy for bilingual parenting. Especially in my case, I started from day one, the day my son was born, knowing that it would be years until I really found out if this idea worked. So we keep planting seeds, we keep watering, we keep nourishing this language in our children, having no idea if this is actually going to pan out. In this month, I'm going to talk about something that is super exciting to me. I've mentioned before that my son is nearly 2 years old, which means that I've been on this journey for almost 2 years now. So finally, I'll be able to talk about our progress and evaluate what's actually working, what's not working, and also give you guys a glimpse of the language goals that we've met and the goals that we have yet to meet. I also want to discuss briefly my own progress and my own language development as well. So please stay tuned for the month of April because I am really excited about talking about this with you, and I would love to show you and be candid about what is working for us and what is not working. Let's get started on talking about today's topic, which is measuring progress. So in this video, I'll be talking about two things. First, why is it important to measure progress at all? And secondly, what are some easy ways that you can measure progress in your bilingual parenting journey with your own child or your own children? Okay, why measure progress in the first place? The first reason is that, as with many things, a lot of progress is unobservable. That's why it's so important to choose periodic times to check in and see how things are going. The other plus about this is that it really improves motivation because from day to day we don't really see many changes, but if you check in every 6 months, every month, or every few months, you can really see that things are improving. So it's really a great way to keep motivated and to just give yourself that extra push you need on some days when bilingual parenting gets a little hard. The other reason why it's so important to continually evaluate your progress is because it can shine a light on the gaps in your own knowledge and the gaps in the resources that you have. So for example, has your child recently started talking more about something that you don't necessarily know the words for? Or maybe you've realized that you haven't been providing as much input as you've really wanted to, and now you need to look for other resources to provide that input. So reevaluating the resources and your own knowledge makes certain that you're continuing to move forward and progress. The other reason it's so important to continue measuring progress periodically is that it's really important to assess what's working and what's not working so that you can continue progressing in the future. If you work really hard at this one method or this one idea that you have, and it's not actually working, then that's not going to help in the future, but sometimes it's not evident what's not working and what is working. So checking in periodically puts a magnifying glass on those things that you might not notice from day to day that are actually not working or possibly even detrimental to your child's language development, and it allows you to pivot to try some new methods and maybe research something else that might work a little bit better for your family. So now I'm going to be talking about some really simple ways that you can incorporate into your routine to continually measure your progress. So a couple notes about this. The thing about measuring progress is that if it's not easy, simple, and effortless, it's going to be really hard to keep up with it. So don't try to do all of these, just choose one or two that you think are easiest to incorporate into your daily life and stick with those. And remember, you can continually evaluate your own evaluation. So if you find that one of these methods is not working well for you, you can always just try another one. The first method I'm going to talk about right now is just to keep notes. Personally, I have a template in one of my apps that just basically says, what are the main things that happened this month? what worked well and what can we improve on. It's really simple. I don't feel any pressure to fill it up a certain amount, but every once in a while I'll go in there and just put a couple things that worked and things that didn't work. Of course, you can tailor this to your own specific goals. The important thing is that it's really easy for you to do and access, and that it's meaningful to you and your own goals. Another really easy way to measure progress is just to keep videos. So nowadays, most of us have smartphones with videos on our phone. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I take a video, it's really easy just to sort it into a folder. So I have a folder called My Son Speaking French. And every time I notice that he does something new, like maybe he's counting or he knows this shape when he didn't before, I'll snap a quick video and then I'll sort it into that album and just forget about it. It's a really effortless way that is not something that you're gonna dread and have to sit down and do. It's just something you can do throughout the day. The next thing you can do is to keep a list of vocabulary words. Now this is gonna depend on the age of your child. So I was actually inspired by a list that I saw a long time ago. This one person recorded every single word and the date that their child said them. And he compiled them in this really fantastic graph, and it was really easy to look and see how many words had been added since like 18 months and 20 months and that sort of thing. So I thought that would be really cool to try and replicate. Now, what I've found is that after a while, it kind of gets a little difficult to just keep adding the words in this list. So I think I stopped maybe like a month or two ago, but every now and again I will go into that list and update it. So I'm not sure that it's complete, but at least it gives me an idea of how he's been progressing and the words he knew and the various dates around which he started saying those words. The next thing you can do is to track the time that you spend in a language. Now, I had mentioned before that I am home with my son all day, so I spend a lot of time with him. But if you find it more difficult, or for whatever reason you're switching between languages, you can track the time that you spend speaking to your child in this language. And you can also track how much of the language your child is saying. So that's just another way that you can measure something that's called language dominance, so the use and the exposure of the language, which is going to be directly linked to their overall proficiency and their bilingual ability. And the last simple thing you can do to measure your progress is to do a really informal assessment on a topic or a subject that is really important to you. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Chic.
Bravo. Et qu'est-ce que c'est?
Toi.
Très bien. Et qu'est-ce que c'est?
Un.
Wow, bravo. Ça?
2.
4. Très bien.
2.
Ouais, bravo. So for example, if you have been trying to see if your child knows all the animals and you have like a animal flashcards or animal magnets or an animal puzzle or something like that, you can periodically maybe take a video or note which animals he or she knows. So maybe once a month you want to sit down and ask him or her, how many animals in this puzzle can you name? And you record that. You know, 1 month it might be 2, the next month it might be 4, 6, 10. That's another way that's way more focused and super goal dependent, but that you can use to measure your progress. All right, everyone, we have talked about why it's so important to continually evaluate your own progress and your child's language development. And also we've talked about a couple really simple and easy ways to make sure that you're always measuring the progress of your child's language development. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, please subscribe and like, and also let me know down in the comments, what are some of the things that you do to continually measure your progress? I would love to know. So don't forget to tune in next Tuesday, because I will be sharing a video all about my son's language development, including videos of him actually doing the things that I talk about. You won't want to miss it. I'm super excited to share. So until then, I will see you in the next video.